My Little Nuts reinvents fantasy football. Download the app now via the link in the description box below. Welcome back to another Q&A episode, and our first question comes from Fabian, who asks, is it too late to bring in Shaqiri? With a player in that price bracket, you don't expect him to be as consistent as he has been in the last few game weeks. He's scored in each of the last 3 consecutive games now. But the underlying numbers are also good. He's equalled Kevin De Bruyne and Mohamed Salah for shots on target over the last 5 game weeks, and only Aguero and Kane have taken more amongst all players. One of the main reasons we're looking at players from Stoke is for their Gameweek 31 fixture against Everton, when 5 games have already been postponed. In addition to that, the fixture away to Southampton this weekend looks okay too. So providing you're planning to use the wildcard around Gameweek 32 or 33, bringing in Shaqiri now still looks like a good move. Rahid asks, replacement for Pope. Sean Dyche said in his press conference last week that Tom Heaton is still several weeks away, so we can be confident in Nick Pope keeping his place for the next couple of games. And I'd be tempted to give him the fixture at home to Everton in Gameweek 29, due to their poor away form. However, if you are looking to replace him after that, unless you're playing the free hit chip in Gameweek 31, you'll need to move for a goalkeeper who has a fixture that week. Jordan Pickford and Jack Butland are perhaps the strongest contenders, given that Big Sam is looking to tighten things up again it seems. It was slightly unfortunate to lose the clean sheet against Watford. And Stoke have kept things solid at the back as well since Paul Lambert took charge. Ronnie asks, is it time to trust an Arsenal player for Gameweek 29 to 35? If so, who? The fixtures are very strong for Arsenal to end the season, but we still have to be aware of Gameweek 31, where they'll be without a fixture. And the other potential factor is the Europa League. Just like with Man United last season, we could see them start to prioritise that ahead of the Premier League. If you're planning to use the free hit chip in Gameweek 31, you might be in a position where you can afford to take a punt on someone from Arsenal, perhaps one of the cheaper midfielders such as Ramsey or Mkhitaryan. They're the ones who could offer value in these easier games. But there's still no rush to move for an Arsenal player just yet for me. I think we can wait until after Gameweek 31 and see if their form improves over the next 2 fixtures before looking to bring someone in. The False 9 asks, who's a good striker other than Firmino to have keeping Gameweek 31 in mind? We're really limited in terms of forward options with a Gameweek 31 fixture. Callum Wilson was looking like he might offer a solution, but he's now gone 3 games without a goal, and Jermaine Defoe has returned to fitness to compete for a starting place. Troy Deeney could be someone to look at if you're making the move ahead of Gameweek 29, where Watford have a home fixture against the badly out of form West Brom side. His match-winning goal against Everton last game week should give him a boost, and that was his 6th FPL involvement this season from only 12 starts. Subo asks, what do you think of Huddersfield's Mounie? Should I transfer him in considering the good fixtures as well as Gameweek 31? Mounie has been fairly hot and cold throughout the season, but he's completed 90 minutes in each of the last 2 game weeks, and he's been directly involved in 4 of Huddersfield's goals over that period, with 2 goals and 2 assists. So on the surface the form looks good, but it is worth noting that Mounie has scored his 2 goals from only 2 shots on target in that time, and both of his assists have come from a total of only 2 attempted assists, which again is a concern. The next fixture for Huddersfield is away to Spurs, so that will be a big test for them, and I think we can hold off from considering Mounie until the following game week at least, which is where the fixtures become much kinder. And the final question for this episode comes from Faizan, who asks, should we get rid of Manchester City's midfielders as they have really tough fixtures coming up? There were a few questions on Man City players in general and whether to keep or sell them, and there is certainly a case for moving them on given their tough fixtures. Having said that, Chelsea have conceded 9 goals over the last 4 game weeks, only West Brom have a worse defensive record over that period, so it might not be the worst time to face Antonio Conte's side. With Aguero, you can probably afford to offload him, especially if you're missing out on either Harry Kane or Roberto Firmino to keep the Man City forward in your side. Likewise with Otamendi, if you don't already have a Liverpool defender, that could be a fairly straightforward switch to make, given their kind schedule and good form. But I think it's harder with De Bruyne or Sterling, if he returns from injury, because they're right up there with Salah when it comes to underlying numbers for midfielders over the last 4 games played. Again, if you don't have 3 Liverpool players already, and you want to look at Sadio Mane, that's a move that might be worth considering. But even over these tougher fixtures, it wouldn't come as too much of a shock for Man City to get results and continue to score a good number of goals, given their status as the Premier League leaders. My Little Nuts reinvents fantasy football. Take on your mates in a head-to-head mini-league featuring a draft-style transfer window. Goals win games, whether it's a real-life goal or a virtual My Little Nuts goal, which are based on player ratings. It's free to sign up, and you can start a league at any point in the season. Download the app now via the link in the description box below.